The New England Patriots on Monday placed their first-round draft pick, N'Keal Harry, on short-term injured reserve. I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Evan Lazar. Clearly not an ideal scenario for the Patriots or for everyone who is really excited for the impact that N'Keal Harry could have immediately for this team. But in recent weeks, it kind of seemed like it might be coming. Obviously, what were your reactions? Not an ideal situation.
Yeah, not an ideal situation in the long term for his long-term development, getting up to speed with Tom Brady, hopefully getting over some of those other guys on the depth chart that are currently ahead of him. He's obviously not going to get ahead of Julian Edelman anytime soon, but maybe jumping into that top three is what we would hope for a first-round pick in his rookie season. Now we're going to have to wait all the way to week 9 to see what they really have in store for N'Keal Harry. And I think that this is really starting to kind of build on a summer of long things that weren't very good for N'Keal Harry. I don't think that he had the best training camp that we've seen out of a lot of, first-round picks of the past for the Patriots. And then you put this injury on top of it. It hasn't been a great summer for him.
Yeah, and when he returns in week 9, that's kind of when the Patriots are entering the meat of their schedule. Yeah. They play the Eagles, the Cowboys, Houston,
Baltimore.
Kansas City, Baltimore.
Yeah.
It's the gauntlet.
It sets up nicely.
Right, it's the gauntlet. It sets up nicely, but also how impactful can he be when he comes back? Because are you going to throw in a rookie who hasn't had experience during your toughest games of the season, or are you going to roll with what's been working if it is working at that point in the season?
I think that's the biggest question, is what kind of impact can he have once he comes back? And I think the biggest thing is that on-field rapport with Tom Brady. Where is that right away when he comes back? He's going to be able to practice for a few weeks before he gets on the field. He can practice after week 6 and then play after week 8. So he's going to have a couple of weeks of practice to build up to that. They also have the bye week thrown in there right after Baltimore, so he's going to have another long week of 10 days or so with some heavy contact practices with Brady to work up to speed. I think that's the next question for him, is what can they do when he does get on the field? I think the biggest thing is looking back to Sony Michel last year. There was certainly a little bit of force feeding early in the season with Michel against Jacksonville and Detroit, but it ended up paying dividends at the end of the season. So if he comes back against Baltimore and he gets 8 targets and they're not pretty and it's not what you all want to see, he only catches a couple of them, don't panic, because I think that that's great news. That's what you want to see. It worked out for Sony Michel. It worked out for Josh Gordon last year too, where they force-fed him a little bit early on. I think it will work out for N'Keal.
And of course, the silver lining of this entire scenario is that Demaryius Thomas is back in Foxboro on a 1-year deal. He showed, obviously, flashes of what he can do in that 4th preseason game against the Giants. So, obviously, the Patriots aren't losing too much with N'Keal Harry on short-term IR because they bring in the veteran.
Yeah, I think that Demaryius right now might be able to contribute a little bit more than N'Keal could, just because he knows the playbook a little bit more. He has that history with Josh McDaniels, and he was also out there, these last couple of weeks, even though he had the Achilles and he had a slow summer as well. It's been a tough summer for wide receivers here in New England, which is nothing new. I mean, it's been a couple of years of this going now, where a lot of guys are banged up, and it's kind of been a little bit of a carousel at that position. But Demaryius did show us on that Thursday night preseason finale. Obviously, it was against players that weren't very good corners, that a lot of them aren't in the league anymore. But the body positioning, the route running, the understanding of the offense, all those things were there. And he had that veteran kind of savviness to him down the field, which I like to see. So even if he's not explosive anymore and running by people and creating over-the-top chances for the Patriots, at least he's going to be able to win with, body positioning. He also battled through a couple of contacts there over the middle, which I think was a little bit of a question mark about him. Was he going to fight through that contact? And he did that too.
This Foxboro report is brought to you by betonline.ag. Head to clnsmedia.com/win. Enter promo code CLNS50 to receive your welcome bonus for all of our Patriots content leading up to the Week 1 season opener between the Patriots and the Steelers. Head to our website at clnsmedia.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel at CLNS Media.